Elon Musk is really nervous about tomorrow. I still have launch PTSD from early Falcon days. My limbic system twists my guts into a knot as we get closer to launch, and the launch date is tomorrow. It is absolutely amazing that Elon is able to pull this thing off. So many thought that SpaceX would fail miserably, and look at the size of this thing. It doesn't look that huge, but if I zoom in, this is a semi, and when I zoom out, look how tiny that looks, which gives you a better understanding of how huge this actually is. We'll also get through all of the Tesla stock news today and a bit of a personal update from me as well. I do have quite a few responsibilities that I need to take care of over the next few days, and I have been doing that over the last few days as well. So I might post less videos for now, and when everything is taken care of, hopefully I'll be back to more videos. Also, my wife, she's doing much better. She tried driving a few days ago. She tried to do that much earlier, but yeah, that didn't go exactly great. Her back still hurts a lot, but she's able to walk around fine. She just can't lift anything that's probably heavier than maybe 6 books of this size. We have family and friends over here, so they helped a lot with everything, but hopefully her recovery continues. But she's not working yet, and she probably won't be working for another month or so. Me and my wife also read through the comments from that first initial video, and I think that actually really helped. So I would like to thank you all one more time for leaving such kind and nice comments. And now Tesla stock news and Elon Musk news. This is going to be a huge week for Elon and Tesla. Elon right now is doing spaces as I'm recording. You need to subscribe though. That's I think $4 per month USD. And then tomorrow, obviously, we got the launch, the Starship launch attempt. Excitement is guaranteed, but success is not. And then the interview that Elon Musk already did with Tucker is going to drop tomorrow, the first part. Well, then we will have Tesla earnings on Wednesday. The second part of the interview is dropping on Tuesday. Sawyer also specifically thought it is important to mention that this coming week we will have April 20th. The gentleman with the tie is the governor of a state where Tesla is going to build a factory in Mexico, and he spoke with media, sharing some of the information about how the factory is progressing, and I think it has some important information. I used auto translate feature here. Even though he spoke in Spanish, we can all understand what he says. So let's take a look.
Inicio se hablaba de que querían romper el récord de Shanghai de 9 meses. Pero ya con las reuniones que hemos estado teniendo, el modelo que quieren sacar, que es el modelo económico, que se va a vender de manera masiva, va a requerir de toda una nueva línea de producción. Esa línea de producción ahorita están en el taller, más bien tallereando, para tener ya un render final y empezar la construcción. Entonces, ahora estimamos que puede llegar a tardar entre 12, 14, 15 meses por el espacio tan grande que va a ocupar esa línea de producción y por ser la fábrica más grande del mundo.
Ya para ese entonces estarán listas las líneas de gas, de electricidad y todo que tengo entendido hoy en día no están.
Sí, nosotros desde noviembre, que prácticamente nos dijeron luz verde, nos movimos en turbo, en agua, en electricidad, en gas, en espuela y en conectores. Ya estamos listos. Claro que tenemos que esperar el render final para entonces ya adecuar, pulir y empezar los proyectos, que Nuevo León está listo desde noviembre para arrancar, y en cuanto nos diga Tesla que para adelante, arrancamos.
It appears that it may take more than 9 months to build the factory in Mexico, but we also have to remember that that figure of 9 months was to start counting once a factory broke ground, which it has not yet. So it's not exactly really clear by how much it would be delayed, but it does appear that a delay is likely at this point. But also, I wouldn't count on information from politicians very seriously. Maybe it's not something that Tesla has not done yet. Maybe it's something that the local government is not able to provide or do, or maybe there's something that we don't know. So I wouldn't rush to make any conclusions. Just keep in mind that now there's a rumor it may take longer, which I would say that's sort of expected. Anything with construction, if you have dealt with anything, we did a huge renovation recently for one of our businesses, and that got delayed by so long. It's never as planned. Troy has updated his backlog calculation, which is based on March 31st. He posted the more recent update on his Patreon, but it's mostly flat for the most part, and you can see more details here as well. Some people will wonder, how can you have a backlog if we already have inventory? Well, here's how. If you look at some models, some of them do have longer wait times. For example, the Model Y right here, or in Canada, the Model Y as well. And then in other countries, you can also see which vehicles have longer wait times. And that is how the backlog is still possible, even though we already have inventory. This is the US inventory, and this is where we were when Troy made that calculation. And the inventory has increased a little bit, so I would expect the backlog to also be decreased, at least in the USA as well as Europe. This is Europe. As you can see, we do have some ships that unloaded a lot of vehicles, and that is normal for the European market. We should expect a few more spikes like this, maybe not as big as this one, but certainly expect spikes at least of this size multiple times. We also have some very important footage of legacy automakers trying to rebuild their factories. As you can see, they are all the way at the top here trying to demolish the thing. And yeah, they have a long way to go all the way down. You can't just blow up the whole thing. Or maybe you can, but I guess it doesn't really make sense in this particular circumstance. So yeah, that's what we are doing. Tesla has now officially announced that they are hiring for their Megapack factory in Shanghai. Clearly, progress is being made over there. This is an important image if you haven't seen it before. This is how much Tesla spends for research and development, which sounds a little bit misleading when you look at this chart here, because it appears that Tesla would be spending a whole lot more, and it makes sense because Tesla has much better vehicles, right? But that's only true per vehicle. Tesla actually spends a lot less than all other automakers on research and development. Can you believe that Volkswagen spends about $20 billion for research and development? Toyota spends about 9, GM spends about 10. That's crazy. And yet their technology is so inferior compared to Tesla's technology. Imagine what is going to happen once Tesla reaches 10 million vehicles per year. Tesla is going to obliterate all of these automakers. But the part where you want to pay attention is right here in red. This is how much they spend per car sold on advertising. And Tesla, of course, spends 0 so far. And the big debate right now is what the margins are going to be. If you look at the CFO, Zach, he gave us some guidance about Q1 actually. Zach on the last earnings call said, who is the CFO, yes, I'll jump in on this. So there is certainly a lot of uncertainty about how the year will unfold, but I will share what's in our current forecast for a moment. So based upon these metrics here, we believe that we will be above both of the metrics that are stated in the question. So 20% automotive gross margin, excluding leases and credits, and then 47,000 average selling price across all models. And so too, other comments I want to make on this, just statically on sequential average selling price changes from Q4 to Q1. And just as a reminder, the average selling price reduction is not as large as the reduction in configurator prices. As in Q4, we had backlog customers that we are delivering cars to at a lower price book, given that backlogs had been so long for so much of 2022. But then also, there are various programs in place that we use in Q4 that lowered average selling prices. So some look at this and say, Zach actually made it super clear that he was talking about Q4 to Q1 specifically. and not just about all of 2023. So then we should assume that this 20% number is going to be true for every single quarter, not just for a whole year, as well as $47,000 average selling price. But then I actually read this. No. It says just statically on sequential average selling price changes from Q4 to Q1. It didn't mention just about Q1 right here. So this could be interpreted as a statement for the whole year. Maybe Zach meant it for Q1 specifically. It's not abundantly clear to me, but even if he did, let's not forget that Zach, when speaking about Q4 of 2022, in the earnings call of Q3, he said that we will deliver just under 50% year-over-year growth for the whole year of 2022, and that did not really turn out to be true. We had 40% year-over-year growth instead of just under 50% growth. So I would not really say that Zach's words are something that we should really rely on. It's a good indicator, but it's not something that we should solely rely on. Looking at Zach's statements here, my conclusion is that specifically he only made this comment right here about Q1, which means that the average selling price is not going to come down as much as many people may think compared to Q4. That's about it. And this is not really clear to me if this is about the whole year or every single quarter. Because you can have quarters that individually may be below 20%, but others, because they would be above 20%, would bring the whole year up, making it about 20%. And which one it is, it's not clear to me. We have more Tesla news. Tesla is introducing the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive for business-to-business customers in the UK, with deliveries set to start in June. That is good. Clearly, Tesla still has more ways to stimulate demand besides just the price cuts or advertising. We might see something similar in the US as well sometime in the relatively near future. And trying not to laugh here, but this is a pure EV on its third iteration, and this is the best trunk that they could create. That's a lot of space for maybe a few documents and things like that, but not for anything else really. You can maybe fit one grocery bag in there, maybe. Thank you all for all the kind comments again, and wishing my wife a speedy recovery. It's been quite a journey. There was one moment where she sort of re-injured her back again, although it wasn't nowhere near as bad as it was initially. But she is feeling better, although she is going to stay home for quite a while still. And this is an important message to all Tesla stock investors. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.